Well, good morning. Back at the ridge, over here at Old Blue. Well, I've put it off way too long. It's time to do a little maintenance. Been having some starting issues, and I knew the starter was getting weak, but I've just been pushing it, and yeah. So I went ahead and ordered a new starter, had it in for a while, but we've been out busy doing everything else. But this morning, before we go to working on stuff that I need the tractor for, I need to get this starter changed. And of course, it's right back there. I can kind of reach around, so gotta grab my toolbox and then we'll get things set up. But yeah, I'll show you why it's needing a new starter here in a minute. First things first, let's get the hood popped. These pliers. Battery disconnected. Let's get you over there and look at this starter. So right in here, if you look, that's all broken. You're not supposed to be able to do that. And that there is why she's getting a new starter today. Well, that one was easy off. We'll have to. So then I need them bolts. Okay, so what you see here is this first bolt, you just need the socket, no extensions. There's plenty of clearance to pull that one out. And I found it easier just taking them out one at a time. Now I did need a 3-inch extension to reach the back one. And shockingly enough, these were not as tight as I expected. This is the original factory starter. And then I just used the extension in the socket and brought that bolt out. Can't get my hand in there.
Now this bottom one, as you see, I didn't have one super long extension, so I used a 6 and a 3-inch and a swivel to be able to get the angle. Kind of like I showed you, the arm for the front loader lift is right in the way, and I clearly was not going to drop all that off, so trying to reach back in there and get that out.
Come on.
In retrospect, I would have taken that bottom bolt out first left the top two in so that the starter, because now I'm struggling, I've got to hold the starter and try to spin it. And I know it's hard to see in this, but you get about the angle of one eyeball in there.
That's a fun one. Okay.
So I'm still trying to get that bottom bolt fully out of there. And some of the other videos I've seen, they removed the fuel filter and did all that. And this one, I removed nothing else.
We'll do a little side by side because when you seen that just broke off. I still got to get that connector off. But nice. Perfect. Now the fun part was, for this starter, whew, they're proud of those things. But I was able to get on the old Amazons and got me for about 1/3 of the price. So I'm gonna see how fun this will be to get back in. Just that bottom bolt really looks like it's gonna be the pain. So I think I'm gonna start with the top two so that things are lined up. But I gotta get that connector apart.
So I tried about every method I could. I used the channel locks, and it was just stripping it. I went and got a wrench. Nope, those are still the channel locks. I honestly thought this was gonna come right apart.
Half the wrench.
But between the rust and that connector getting so hot, this actually welded itself together. There's where I've got the one size fits most, or some of you call it a crescent wrench. Tried that with a line wrench. It was just so I ended up just cutting the bolt right in between the connectors to cut it off, because the new starter already had that new bolt stud. So all I had to do was make sure that the connectors were not getting cut into. And this video made it look fast, but I probably took 45 minutes of trying to do it with wrenches before I resorted to this method.
Okay, well that was a little more difficult than it needed to be.
Okay, so I was able to just reverse the process, wiggle the starter back in there, started with this easiest bolt to get in that top corner, and just repeated the process. But as you can see, there wasn't enough room to get my full hand at the end of the starter, so trying to find the right angle, reaching around the loader arm the entire time. I made sure those top two bolts were in hand tight, did not put the wrench on them, and surprisingly enough, I was able to start that bottom bolt with the starter not moving around by hand, and got it in most of the way before I needed to use the socket to snug it up.
Okay. Okay, fine. You just stay right down there. And we will. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna retape that. Now with this, it probably would have been a better time to put actual heat shrink tube on, but I just went ahead and re-electrical taped because those connectors have both been pretty hot, and I didn't want water being able to get down the line. And so far, the electrical tape is working perfectly. Now during this part, when you get, there isn't really room to get a wrench in there, so I just use my socket with a swivel and make sure, get it snug, but do not over torque this, or you're gonna end up having the same issue I did of removing the first starter. It's gonna crack that plastic housing. Well, let's see if we did it right. Probably not step on those. All right.